go.
Hello, Duty employees. Thanks for joining me again. This is week 2 of Meatless Mondays with Melissa. And as always, I have my trusty video producer and director, Izzy. Izzy, you want to say hi again?
Hi.
We're happy that you're joining us again today. You probably saw that today we are featuring black bean burgers. But before we do that, I also provided a little trivia question to you guys in the email last week, which was, what bean per serving has the highest amount of protein, grams of protein per serving? A lot of people chimed in, a few of you got it right. So if you said soybeans or edamame, you were right. Per serving, 31 grams of protein. That's very, very high. In fact, that's higher than a red meat-based hamburger patty, if you can believe it. So, are we using a soybean today for our burger? No, but I would recommend you try it sometime. It can be a great snack. In fact, next week, I'm going to feature a couscous salad that actually has soybeans in it. So make sure and come back next week and I'll introduce you to soybeans in a little bit more detail. So second runner-up was lentils, and third was the white bean, if you can believe it. Lowest protein, that would have the winner goes to green beans at a whopping 1.3 grams of protein per serving. So not too great if that's what you're looking for, if you're looking for green beans to give you some protein. Okay, now we're gonna talk about black bean burgers. Why should you make black bean burgers from scratch? Because just like the acai bowl, you can buy them. They're definitely available, usually in the frozen section of most grocery stores. The reason you want to make them yourself though, instead of purchasing them, is one of the things that happens with black bean burgers is when you buy it from a commercial place or commercial product, the amount of black beans actually in it tends to be kind of on the lower side. So one of the reasons you want a black bean burger is so you have a good protein replacement instead of having a hamburger, like a red meat hamburger. Another reason is because you get total control over what other binding agents and what have you go into that particular black bean burger. So it also is easy with a little bit of prep. You can freeze it. So it's always for the taking if you just put a little time and effort into it on the front end. I'm going to show you the best way to do that. And then also you get to choose all kinds of interesting binding agents and flavors to add to that, the basic black bean combination I'm going to show you today. So the black bean burger we're going to be using or creating today is actually, I just want you to know, it's not vegan and it's not gluten-free, but it'd be very, very easy for you to turn it into a gluten-free and a vegan product. So I'll be giving you some tips along the way. Okay. All right, so you can see here I've got all the ingredients that you're gonna find also in your recipe that was attached to the email along with this video. So because it is kind of a lengthy process, we're gonna be skipping some steps, but I wanted you to make sure you had the basic idea of how to do this. So when you're making a black bean burger, the biggest issue for people is it turning out mushy. There's a couple things you need to do in order to try to prevent some of that extra moisture that you're not really wanting in there. The first thing that you need to keep in mind is that you want to actually dry out a black bean before you turn it into like that patty that we're going to be doing in a few minutes. The best way to do that, cookie sheet 350, about 15 minutes. It dries them out and you can kind of see, if you can see, they're already starting to kind of split open a little bit, kind of looks a little dry, kind of unpleasant, but this is actually what you want. Same thing goes for the onion and the red pepper and garlic that you're gonna saute in a pan ahead of time. Best way to draw out some of that moisture you don't want is to actually just put it on top of a paper towel or blot it lightly before you're gonna add it to the mixture. So, as I mentioned before, we're gonna kind of go ahead a few steps just for the sake of time. But I wanted to first of all show you the red pepper and onion. What I've already put in here are my breadcrumbs, 1 egg, some feta cheese, all of the spices that we're gonna be using, some Worcestershire sauce, and the ketchup. So why put breadcrumbs and an egg? and the ketchup in. These are all considered binding agents. Now, if you want to not have like a traditional breadcrumb, you can easily get a gluten-free option. You don't need the feta cheese if you're not a big fan of that. And then also with the ketchup, you can use barbecue sauce. Some people like to use mayonnaise. And then if you really don't want to use the egg, another option is a cornstarch and water slurry. Okay, hold on just a minute. I've got some black bean burgers in the oven. I gotta go grab them. Okay, so this is the final product. I'm gonna just tell you about a few more things before we take a look at that, and we have Izzy taste test them. Okay, as I mentioned before, I already have all of the other ingredients. So I'm gonna just add this, and then I'm gonna get my dried out black beans. Now, the recipe that you guys have, it actually suggests that you use a food processor to pulse it before you add the black beans. I didn't do it. And the reason is I try to avoid food processors. One, most people don't tend to have them in their homes these days. And two, it's kind of messy to use a food processor. Very, very, very difficult to clean.
Mom, the timer.
Oh yeah, let me go take my timer off in just a minute. Totally forgot that. But Izzy can show you what the black beans look like in that bowl. Okay, so I skip the food processor. I don't mind a little bit of chunkiness when it comes to the onion and the red pepper. But if that really bothers you, you want a finer mince, absolutely food processor is gonna be the one thing that you're gonna want. So now, this is very important. You have to decide in advance just how chunky, how much you actually want the black beans to be intact in the ultimate patty that you're gonna make. I like, again, a little bit of texture, a little bit of chunkiness. I actually use, you can use a fork, again, you can use your food processor. I like to use a potato masher for this. So all you're gonna do is you're just gonna get in there, and you, again, wanna just have total control over just how chunky this gets. It doesn't take very much time, but you just wanna make sure everything gets combined in, especially since you've got the egg in there. And because I like it chunky again, I'm not gonna allow it to get too smooth. As you can see, that was less than a minute. This is a lot easier to clean than a food processor. Okay, so now you can kind of see what we're looking at here. Now this is also important. You want to make sure that the patties that you're going to make and ultimately either bake or grill, you want it to be uniform. You want them to cook like grill or bake at the exact same time. And you also want a uniform shape. Best way to do that, 1/3 cup. You just come in here, you utilize the side of the bowl, and you've got your perfect amount. I actually like to use the side to dump it out. Then all you're going to do, few presses in, and then you've got yourself a beautiful looking black bean burger patty. And from there, you're gonna lay it out on parchment on a cookie sheet, again at 375. The other thing to keep in mind is that you want to make sure you flip it. You're going to bake it or grill it for 10 minutes, and then it's gonna go, you're gonna have to turn it over to get to the other side. Okay. So let's see, Izzy, you can stay there if you want.
Okay.
Let's see how these guys look. So again, make sure you have parchment paper. So you can kind of tell that they are definitely on the drier side, and this is really what we want. Okay? So from here, this is where it gets kind of fun again with toppings. We're gonna go basic today, but this is a great opportunity to increase vegetable intake. I tend to love to triple my lettuce. At least double, triple. Izzy, do you want double the lettuce?
Yeah, I love lettuce.
So I'm just using a basic romaine. Today I'm doing it, but I also tend to like to use spinach whenever I'm putting any kind of lettuce on. Any kind of dark green leafy is gonna be the best choice, but any kind of lettuce is good. Okay, so I'm just using a basic arrowweed sandwich then. But you can also easily turn that black bean burger patty. You can put it on a salad, or you can wrap it in lettuce if you're trying to avoid any kind of extra carbohydrate. So what we're gonna do, we'll put our patty on. See, it's a nice shape. And then we'll add lettuce. And then Izzy, what would you like for your condiments?
Tomatoes, onion.
You want some extra onion?
Oh yeah, I really like onion.
Okay.
Onion. And mayonnaise, mustard, and ketchup.
Okay. She wants it all, people. She wants
Pretty
it all.
much.
Okay. So we'll just put a few things in.
Oh wait, and feta cheese.
What's that?
Feta cheese.
You want extra feta? Okay.
That was really good.
So another type of, one of the other things I really like on black bean burgers is actually goat cheese. If you've ever had like a portobello mushroom burger, which I highly recommend, it's very easy to do, especially if you just marinate it ahead of time in a little bit of balsamic and then like a Ziploc bag. They grill up beautifully. And goat cheese on top of that with some roasted red pepper is very, very, very delicious. Okay, so I'm just setting Izzy up. We're gonna put some onion on there for her because she loves raw onion.
Mm-hmm.
And then you said you wanted some extra feta cheese?
Yes, please.
Okay. We can do that, why not? And then we're gonna see what she thinks. So unlike acai bowls, Izzy's not a big fan of black bean burgers. So if she thinks this is halfway decent, I would call that success. And I promise you, ladies and gentlemen, she really has never had these before.
Yeah, genuinely. This is first try.
Okay, so I'm just cutting this up for her, so. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. I feel good. I like actually good.
Excellent. Okay. Okay, wonderful. All right, so that's black bean burgers. Try it out. Let me know what you think. And then stay tuned for next week. We're going to go over a couple of Meatless Monday dinner options. So we'll look forward to seeing you back here. Again, let me know any questions you have. I appreciated everybody who got back in touch with me this past week. It was a lot of fun to interact with you guys. In the meantime, take care and bye for now. Bye.
Bye.